never really knew the reason. I thought an event, you know, like thinking with Western eyes. But Advent is a Latin word for coming. So this tradition started back in the 6th century. I just looked it up a little bit, and basically what it was doing was to tell you about the events that led to the coming of Jesus Christ. So the first, they'd light a candle. This worked very well in the northern hemisphere. Doesn't work so well in the southern hemisphere when you're in the heat of summer. Yeah, who wants to light a candle? But in the northern hemisphere, it definitely worked well. And the first candle was lit was to deal with the prophets like Isaiah, who spoke about the coming of Jesus. Then it talked about the angels that brought the good news, the shepherds who they brought the good news to, and then the wise men. And of course, the middle candle symbolised Christmas Day, where we remember, you know, we don't know when Jesus was born, if he was born on a particular day, but that particular candle was to celebrate the birth, where everything come to fold, that Jesus, everything that God had promised had been delivered through this little baby. And when I was asked to do communion this morning, I wanted to read you a verse, and it comes from Luke 2. Now, the reason for this bright and Larry shirt was I wanted to get in the Christmas spirit, because it's a time to be joyful. Yeah. And I really know with parents at this time of year, it's very difficult to have a smile on your face because you've got so much to do and not enough time to do it in. And in my particular time, it's the busiest, craziest time of the year. And Christmas Day is like the finishing line, and you sort of stagger to the line and hit it. But I just want to encourage parents to really take the time to go through and talk about what Isaiah said, what the angels said, and what the wise men, all that. Just tell the story, because that is so precious in a kid's life. You remember, you hang on to that for the rest of your life. Well, I want to read to you today from Luke 2, 9 to 12. And this is how it goes. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. Understandable. Well, but the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid." Good word to say. And he went on to say, "I bring you good news that will cause great joy." Okay, that word joy comes into it. For all people. Today in the town of David, a Saviour has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find him wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger. The key word today before we take communion is what the angels delivered to the shepherds. Was, "I deliver you a Saviour, and he has been born to you." That's why we celebrate Christmas, because God's delivered a Saviour. God's done the impossible and has made it possible. I encourage you, kids, don't grow up too quick. Don't grow up too quick. Enjoy being a kid. I was just reminded as we were praising God, just enjoy being a kid, because Jesus was a kid. He was just like you, one stage in his life, and that just overwhelms me. Overwhelms me that the Saviour of the world, God's precious Son, became a little baby. And I just love these words, and this will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths lying in a manger. Jesus' mum, Mary, laid him down in a manger, in a crib, in a sheep's trough. We now celebrate communion. The gospel came to shepherds first, because they were telling the story about who was the shepherd of shepherds. And that's the reading I want to read to you next, and it's John 10. And it all makes sense to you now, where we're going with this. All makes sense. The shepherds got the good news, and now Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. I am the shepherd of shepherds. Said, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this pen. I must bring them also. Have you been one of those sheep that weren't in the pen and now are in the pen? You know who the shepherd is, hey? It's a good thing. They too listen to my voice, and they shall be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay my life down. I lay my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own accord. I have the authority to lay it down and the authority to take it up again. This command I received from the Father. Jesus, when he came into the world, his mum laid him down. But that was never the intent. He was always going to lay down his life for you and me. So this Christmas, we remember the man that came, we know as God, came to lay down his life.